Hey everyone, this is my reaction to the first episode of Hyakuren no Haou to Seiyaku no Valkyria. Now, what I know about this anime is that it's a harem anime adapted from a light novel about a guy who goes to another world, pretty much, with pretty much nothing to help him but his trusty smartphone. And no, not the anime. This one is totally different than that. Stop messing with my microphone, cat. Anyway, yeah, pretty much that's the story we're given here. I think there's some specifics on how he gets to the next world that we'll get into in the episode, but that's the gist of it. So yeah, I'm not exactly expecting this to be anything world changing as far as anime industry goes, but hopefully it'll be at least fun enough to watch. So let's get into it and find out. 3, 2, 1, play. Starting off promising so far. I quite enjoy the lyrics of her song. And her singing attire is nice as well. Very studious, I see. Because that's clearly where his attention should be right now. I think there's other things you could be researching right now. The Me as well. I wonder if this is like a flash forward type thing, and we'll see how he gets here. Yeah, that basically confirms that. But yeah, I'd say it's a pretty good life he's living there. I'll need to see his old life for comparison, but I don't see anything to complain about. Yeah, the English title's not that much easier to say than the Japanese one. Just throw yourself at him. Yeah, I think that's how he gets to the other world. He takes a picture of something. His smartphone's not quite as great as a certain other anime smartphone, but of course it has twins. Can't have a proper harem without twins, really. Do you have a clipboard? But yes, like I said, I'm not expecting anything super original from this anime, or well written, or anything like that. I'm just hoping it'll be entertaining for what it's trying to do. I really don't like to use the word generic, but that more or less describes what I'm expecting. But unlike some people, I really don't have that much of a problem with generic anime, as long as they can entertain me well enough. Although they usually will be dropped if I'm loaded up, if I'm overloaded on a season, they'll be the first things to drop. The Oath of the Chalice sounds fancy. But yeah, I can see why he was looking at the things he was looking up. Oh wow, we really are going full-scale war out of nowhere. Oh, those poor horsies. They did nothing wrong. Yeah, I thought we were gonna flash back to how we got to the world, but I guess not yet. How was that impossible? I guess because they're really... Wow. I quite like her attire here as well. Yeah, that's a classic. Well, no kidding. Even I've heard of that in history. Gotta love Oda Nobunaga. As you can admit that. I can respect that. More than if he didn't admit it. Attack! Make sure you're all buffed up and go forward. Oh, wow. Yeah, sounds about right. You made a lot of progress despite that because of your phone, mostly. Oh, wow, she's good. Bye, Felicia. If she'd gotten stabbed with that instead, I would have hoped he would have said that. Oh, wow, I guess they're gonna be blotting out the sun. There's nothing wrong with having a fight in the shade. Especially if you do so with her. I like her weapon choice. Very impressed. You're definitely a girl you'd want to keep around for several reasons. You'd be a great anything, really. Well, I'm sure you'll be a harem member. Yes, he was talking about something a bit different. Mostly because of the whip, I'm sure. I do like his outfit as well. Good job. You gotta love CGI armors. Armies. It's nice to meet you as well. I quite like her character design, probably my favorite one so far. That's good to hear. The D, or money, one of the two. Probably the former. Put a baby in me. Oh, okay, we're starting much lower level, but I guess we'll get there. Hey man, if she wants a reward, you can just give it. It's not like it costs you anything. And it's enjoyable as well for you. There we go. Yes, I definitely made a similar comparison in my head. Can I keep her, Dad? She followed me home, I swear. Or I guess he's a father in this case. I am a little bit confused about the family stuff here. Prepare for talks. Okay, like a strategy meeting. We got her captured. He commands respect. Of course it is. I don't think she's impressed. Not what I would have asked, but... You're not really in a position, yeah. We are wolves now. Yeah. I bet they were nowhere near as good before you showed up. Winter is coming, after all. Oh! I think you may have said something you shouldn't have. uh... You can tell the show is very wish fulfillment-y. Yes. A little bit like good cop, bad cop. Or a carrot and stick, you know. So you really did just give people just family roles, like straight up role playing. Well, it looks like you're not doing so well as a clan. So that's Vaughn. Yeah, it's not great. Well, if it comes to that, my chalice. Guy really does strike me as a Chuny. I bet he was a Chuny before he came here. But yeah, it's you don't really have much of a choice here. And you can tell she knows that by her face, the frustration. Okay, that's all I wanted to hear. Uh, I'll accept that. That's okay. I guess a silver-haired girl, Rune Run, is a child. Because you did call him father. Yeah, it's just a very intense situation. Well, it clearly can be intimidating when it needs to be. I wouldn't be soft in this situation, I'd be hard all the time. Especially when they do stuff like that, it's kind of hard to stay soft. No, I'll be hard on you instead. Or in you, whatever. Both. I would never want to say bye to this Felicia. Well, then you should shove your tits in his face, too. So it's pronounced Rune, Rune, kinda? I'll just probably just call her Rune, anyway. Please stop throwing these weird letters at me! With all the, I don't know what you'd call the thing above the letters. I know apostrophe is not what you'd call it, but... I don't have time to read all that, but it's not super important. I bet he is. He's a protagonist. So we're just gonna not show how he got here? Or we just gotta not do it right away? I mean, it's not super important, really. Especially if we don't plan on him ever going back. Yo! Yeah, you should have been there, man. It was awesome. I owned it all. I hope they're not implying that. Because people who weren't involved shouldn't act like they helped. They really are doing a full-on family thing. I mean, I would accept that. Yes, now bye, Felicia. Now I can finally say it. Oh, right, yeah, solar powered, so it needs to be in the sun. Is he calling home? Apparently he can do that, so that's cool. Zyke is real, the little sister. That's probably the only place he can actually make calls home, maybe. Mitsuki and the moon. Okay, so he can't go home yet. But it's acknowledged that he wants to. Another moonshot. Really? Wouldn't be much of an isekai anime if it wasn't the isekai. That sounds about right. Well, it doesn't necessarily say anything. Who needs an alarm clock when you have your, harem members that do wake you up? Uh, it's got some fancy technology, I see. Yes. Yes. Smaho. Smaho, smaho, smaho. I bet you are. Exactly. I'd be surprised if he wasn't. Please do. Okay, but why would you say that? Yeah, that one part of you that's always honest. uh, it's not that big of a deal. You just have wet dreams once in a while if you don't take care of it. Which, of course, is a bit inconvenient, but... I disagree. I would make good use of that assets, all of them. I mean, there's no reason why you can't deal with both those problems at once. I'm sure you can. Especially when you're in your position of power and love. A feast for champions there. Probably. Got a blacksmith's. I have arrived. Everyone bow before me, please. Unless you're in the middle of something, in which case it can wait. I kind of like her already. But yeah, Felicia almost always follows him around, I see. uh... So she is Ingrid, I figured. Before. Like, did she come to this world with him? Is that what she's implying? Wow. That's adorable. Uh, uh, yeah, I agree, I agree. Yeah, we can be casual under... Wow, I think that's a bit of a leap. She wasn't really talking about that. But she clearly has a thing for him as well, no surprises there. Just another harem member of course. Patriarch becoming a little sister. Either my knowledge of language is lacking or that sounds a bit weird. You missed the head for the head pat, but... Yes. The Chalice of Allegiance, so that's the chalice they've been talking about. Okay. Yeah, if you keep winning, I guess. Yeah. The path to peace is basically just defeat everyone else until they all submit to you. That really is the best way for peace, of course. Especially if they can become your little sisters along the way. Hopefully not an assassination attempt. Oh, for a second I thought she really was like gonna pull a knife or something. I don't think you even have to ask. I think it goes without saying. I'll hold you to that. Just so you know, I can get quite creative in the bedroom. I know things you never even heard of because of my trusty smartphone. Yes, that was obvious. There was no question about that. Yeah, I can already tell most people are not gonna watch more than one episode of this. Is it bad news? Don't you always? Okay. And now since the Horn Clan is ours, we have to help them. Oh, damn. That's... We definitely need your knowledge now. Yeah, I was about to say, that makes it even more difficult. Yeah, the opposite of ideal for us, though. You're really not at fault here. Calm down. They're still under our wing. No, he's not. Yes, but we have. That how long it's been is irrelevant. You're just making excuses for yourself. Yeah, I think you're starting to piss him off. Yeah, that great way to just dismiss him. At least he didn't break the table, like someone has a tendency to do. You tell him, Yuto. That's what gets her off. Seeing him act all manly and assertive. Oh damn, he did punch that hard. Yeah, you may not have any pride, but I do. So shut up. Not to mention, you know, he just got his new cute little sister. Is not going to abandon her like that. You already promised her and everything. I do like DMC, like more than I expect. It's not already over, is it? What? I did not expect the anime to go by that quickly. Uh, I really thought it was like maybe barely over halfway over. I'm just gonna be quiet now. Uh, this must be the trend with anime, because I think Isekai Mao Dore Majutsu had a similar idea for its CD. I mean, you can't go wrong with this, really. I mean, when in doubt, just go do this route. And we got our twins, which we haven't seen in the show yet, but I am definitely looking forward to. Ugh, anyway, yeah, first episode, the pacing was obviously pretty good because, I mean, it did definitely not drag on at all for me. There obviously wasn't a huge amount of originality or anything, but I knew that going in. I think that's the little sister that he called from home. Do your job well. You too. You also do your job well. You can work together. There's no reason why you can't. Claud is fine. So that was the first episode of Hyakuren no Haou to Seiyaku no Valkyria. And I liked the first episode. I obviously went into this with pretty low expectations because it kind of warranted that. But I'd say it was definitely entertaining enough. We have a protagonist who I like well enough. He's not the best protagonist ever, but he's definitely not the worst. He's not a pushover, you know? He clearly stands up for what he believes in, and he doesn't let anyone push him around. So I do like that about him. Obviously, I would prefer him to have a bit more of a, you know, to have a bit more of a proactive stance on with dealing with his harem. Like, when they want the D, actually giving them the D. But he seems like he's not quite as willing to do that as, say, I would be. But that's probably my only real complaint with him. Aside from that, I like him as a protagonist. He's not like a negative on the series at all, like a lot of harem anime do. Now, the episode pretty much started off with already being involved in a war. I believe it was the Wolf clan of our protagonist Yuto dealing with the Horn clan, and they did their best to deal with that. Pretty much already showing an example of Yuto making good use of his knowledge of the real world and his smartphone and all that to have superior technology and tactics used against other people, because that does give him an advantage, and that's what allowed him to rise up the ranks to be the patriarch of the clan to begin with. Because obviously it's flash forward and didn't get to see any of him coming here and working his way up to that level. I guess they decided to just kind of skip ahead to where he's already at the top tier and quickly doing what he can to take over other clans, gain more power, more influence, and hopefully find a way home. Because he apparently can't do that, although we did see that he's able to contact his, I assume, little sister, who is in the real world. I think they were trying to imply that he can only make those calls when he's near the mirror, which is, I guess, what transported him here to begin with. So I think they were kind of implying that. And he probably has a specific time that he has scheduled with his little sister, like, okay, this time of day, I will call you, and so, like, be ready for that. So I think that may have been why he was in, like, a hurry and stuff like that, because that's the only reason why I would say that would make sense. But yeah, basically, she knows about him being gone, probably misses him a lot, hoping he comes home. However, I should probably stop bouncing around so much. Anyway, they beat the Horn clan, and they cheered, and they had their 3D CG spear raising and stuff like that. And then he had a talk with the patriarch of the Horn clan, basically negotiating with her to surrender completely, do the chalice of, I almost said negotiation, chalice, what was it? Chalice of, okay, Chalice of Allegiance, that was what it was. Okay, and apparently this is a thing with this world where you can have people pretty much submit to you by becoming your sibling, or they can, not sibling, child or sibling. Like, she ended up becoming his little sister as opposed to his child. I think she was given a choice. Obviously, becoming a sibling is better than becoming a child. I think one's more subservient, but the other's a bit more on your level. I'm not sure exactly how that works. They probably said it, but it's something like that. Child's below sibling, basically. That much is obvious. I was a little bit confused about why they were having these family role-playing things. At first, I thought maybe just it was his fetish. He had a thing for that, but no, apparently that's more of a, like, a world-building actual thing, not just something he does because it's for the fun of it. But yeah, the Horde clan girl, she got off pretty well. She was able to become a sister instead of a child, which, you don't want to become a child because that's, like, absolute servitude, pretty much. So she got it pretty well there, and he, promised her that he would take good care of her clan and all that. And then, like, right after that, the clan's in danger, getting attacked. And, of course, nobody wants to help out the clan, because if you try to look at it objectively, it's like, hey, we have a lot more to lose than to gain from this, so let's not do it, okay, guys? But no, Yuto's not going to do that. He made a promise to her to take good care of his clan, treat them like he would his own wolf clan, and he's obviously not going to go back on that. So yeah, he slammed the table as hard as he could to the point of bleeding and said, guys, shut up, your opinions don't matter, I'm the leader here, we're doing this. So I'm sure she is very happy about that. Anyway, so that's pretty much enough of the plot stuff. As for the girls, I like all the girls so far. I would say Rune is my favorite. She's the dog, pretty much. She looked absolutely adorable when they showed that visual metaphor of her looking all dog-like. She looked really happy, really cute. I wanted to pet her as well. I'm a little bit jealous that I couldn't. We also have Felicia, who, aside from having a name that lends itself well to making internet meme references, she seems nice enough. Not really she looked very much like she's straight out of Rome, Caesar, that sort of thing. She seems to be quite bold. She's obviously made it apparent that she wants to marry Yuto, because when he called her a queen and she misunderstood what he meant by that, she interpreted as, oh, you want to marry me, huh? Well, that's great by me. It's like, no, I meant it a bit of a, bit of a different way. But she wouldn't really get that because she's not from the same world as him. However, speaking of being in the same world as him, this is an amazing segue, by the way. We have Ingrid, which, judging by what they said, it seems like she came with him to this world because that's the only way. Because he's only been there for 2 years. If someone's known him for a while, it would have to be somebody from his original world. So that's probably the case there. And she decides, apparently she's made a life for herself as a blacksmith, Obviously, it's not quite at the level of being a patriarch or anything, but I'd say she made pretty good life for herself there. She's obviously a harem member as well. Clearly likes Yuto. I'd say she's, even though Rune is my favorite overall, I would say she's probably the most entertaining character, has the most potential for entertainment value. She had a lot of fun reactions to the various things, and obviously jumping at misunderstandings and conclusions in her head, which are quite the case. So I feel like she'll be fun. I hope she has a decent amount of screen time. She's obviously not like, Felicia, who constantly shadows Yuto, so it is questionable how much screen time she'll have. I just hope she has a decent amount. I guess you really like the girls we've seen so far. We haven't seen all of them yet. We still have the twins, and I think some more as well. And I look forward to seeing all of them. And the ED was very nice as well. We got to see very nice shots of all the relevant harem girls. And I do like how the twins, they were together in theirs as it should be. So just only good things to say about the ED, really. The opening was, it was fine. It was nothing memorable at all. Much like the show. I'm sure as soon as the show ends, I'll forget it exists, like a season later. But for the most part, I'd say it's definitely an enjoyable enough show for me to continue with, at least for a little bit. We'll see how things progress from here, but so far I'm liking it. I'm sure this is one of those shows that people will proudly proclaim they dropped on the internet to show how much of a connoisseur of anime they are. But yeah, I'd say it's fun. I'll continue with it. So yeah. Thank you for watching, and thank you Cnouki, as well as everyone else, for doing what you can to support the channel. It means a lot to me, and I hope we can continue to grow the channel together. If you want to do more to support the channel, then you can become a patron on my Patreon and get cool rewards like early access to certain videos. Have a good one.